But what? So, we will see if anyone comes in, and then I will just use whatever cards. And also, I may speak in Swedish, but usually there are more people, English speaking people here. So that's what I'm going to do. As usual, I don't have so much of. Oh, someone is in here. Hi, can you see the? I can speak in Swedish too if you are Swedish. If you can see the chat, you can ask a question here if you want a card, or if you are on my Facebook, you can ask there. If you can't see the chat here, so, and then I will pull a card for you if you wish. Otherwise, I will just hang out here for a while and see what happens. maybe the comments on Facebook won't be shown instantly. I'm not sure, but they will here. So the best thing would be to check them out. Maybe I should do some random cards. Meanwhile, I don't know. We will see. If I just sit here for a while and just sit, Are you like serious nerds? I can get totally into serious. Or what do you call it? Is that what the name in Swedish? No, I mean in English. Oh, a little bit tired. I just watched this case for Vera. I don't know the English name for it even. Actually, I know what it's called in Swedish, so that's direct translation. It's an English series actually, with this old woman solving murders kind of thing. I think I mostly like the environment in these kinds of more slow, let's say, detective series. I get drawn into the environment more, like the atmosphere of the scenery, actually. That is what I actually like. Although, I mean, yeah, kind of interesting sometimes what they solve, or yeah, the whole thing. But usually that's not why I watch them. I watch it more for the, I don't know, it's calming of some sort. Yeah. So I've been, I also could like watch, I mean, I'll never go into that, but anyways, who cares? Well, yeah. So maybe I should just pull some random general cards. I don't know. Yeah. I recently wrote these lists. I'm a kind of random person of what I want to do during a day. And I have so many ideas. I have a whole book of ideas. And I can't possibly do them. That's the problem for me. I don't know how you all saw that sort of things, because I want to do so many things. I'm so interested in so many things. I want to learn so many things. I want to do so many things. Yeah. And I try to structure it somehow. But usually then I kind of end up watching some sort of awesome series to relax my mind instead, or something else that I love to do. Also, I do that too, but yeah. I will have to find a way. I mean, you have to let go of some, don't you? That's the tricky part for me. I want to have it all in one day. And when it comes to the weather today, that's what the weather was like here. All kind of seasons in one day, and not only in one day, like in 15 minutes. it have shifted all day with hailstorms, warm sunshine, rain, windy, all kinds of weathers like the same day. That's very, very odd. And it have been going on all day, like those shifts. Suddenly it have been cold winter time, and then warm, and then yeah. Wow, what a day! What a strange day, weather-wise. Yeah. Anyways, I have a few cards here. I don't know what cards to use for this. Maybe I should use some. I don't have any odd cards exactly, but I have cards that I don't use frequently. So, for example, the Sacred Feminine. Those Tarot of the Sacred Feminine. It's quite beautiful and different in some ways, but I like it, yeah. So I will pick some random cards here. Maybe I'll just stay for a little while. Maybe I will have to stay for half an hour or so. I feel a little bit bad for those that I promised that I would be here on dark moons. And now it was called like a black moon because of the double dark moons this month or April. And I forgot it again. What's up with that? I don't seem to be able to. Previously, I had the idea of be here on full moons, and that I recall, but then no one was here. So I don't know. I have to put it in my calendar if I should be here a specific day. And I think maybe I will probably be more random. It seems like it. I don't want to dismiss it, and I just forget. Obviously 2 times at least I've forgotten. Yeah, so never mind if I say I will. I didn't promise though. I don't think. I tend to not like to make promises if I'm not sure I can keep them. So, yeah, right. I'll just pick some random cards, see if there is any message here for anyone. Oh, this card recently came up for one person that I hold very dear. The picture in this 5 of Wands, you who know tarot cards know that 5 of Wands oftentimes have to do with conflicts or so. It could be minor, like, that you don't pull in the same direction. Maybe we don't hear. Maybe that's the meaning. But the thing is, here is Sekhmet, the lion goddess, the lioness goddess, of Egypt. She is like cooling her heat kind of by drinking the blood from the Nile from all those people she killed. Yeah, she went on to a frenzy. It was like, yeah, you might know, it's similar, I guess, to Kali. It's different cultures though, so it's different, but going all, into rage, full on rage. And Shiva was laying down there and she was dancing in frenzy on his belly until she cooled down. And Sekhmet here in this image, she just went, yeah, she was enraged. And then the only thing that calmed this lioness was the coolness of the Nile, although filled with blood at this point. So it's a bit more dramatic card than it's commonly the 5 of Wands, but still. So what does this say mainly? There is people dying here, obviously. Actually, I don't think this is a good topic. No, I think I will just ignore that topic. How can I say this without saying it? Well, let's see. Well, let's just talk randomly around this topic. I think this could be. I read this today, actually. I think it was. Yeah, I read this whole statement that some people would be, should not be allowed to live. It was like an organization sort of stating that. And yeah, there are some problems with that. There is always, I guess, problems with that, maybe, but the most problematic thing is if you are like bloodthirsty, if you are revengeful as like this lioness, you may not see clearly. You may not actually, although you feel or think that you are, you want to go for facts. Maybe you rather buy what someone serve you that are might not be true. That may be serving some other person's interest of whatever revenge or whatever, want to bring shade onto someone, or destroy them even. So even that, or misinterpreting someone's intent or actions or what's going on in their minds. So this and this attitude that is shown in this picture, I think, talks about that. You may have a good and protective instinct, that you feel that someone is wronged, or you want to put things right. I think that's the case for both Kali and Sekhmet as well. But it goes like easily overboard when it's this heated, let's say. Yeah. And it's very interesting that these are the female traits. Yeah. I guess the strongest energies of these sorts usually is depicted in myths and so on as female traits. I've always been drawn to these, and never felt that they are scary, rather very protective. But now, as an interpretation of the cards, of this card, I think it shows the need to calm down. Yeah, it will pour out somewhere if you have a feeling of being betrayed, if you have a feeling of not being treated right, or just even like smaller bitterness that is kind of brewing there. It will show somehow. I also work with several people, different things, also with myself. Obviously I have to, otherwise I would be like fraud. But some people who have to, before they can work with other things they may want to, they have to go back to the basics of family, parents, usually, to just get rid of that stuff. And sometimes that comes back and back and back until we are ready to just let go. It's easy to understand in the thoughts that, okay, people cannot do or understand better than they do. Even if they are mean, they are still like low thinking people, let's say. So it doesn't really, we should protect both ourselves and others from those who behave in such a way. But still, there is no use to constantly, feed those stories that enrage us. So to deal with those and to let go. And I don't know, maybe I've spoken about this before, but since no one is here, I go on and on, and you can listen whomever want to or not. At least I repeat it to myself then. Yeah. So one good thing is that ceremonies or so on, or rituals, that it's often more called in the witchy ways, but could be similar. They speak to our old brain. They can reach those levels of our instinct where our, let's say, talk therapy and so on don't really connect. So I think one of the reasons I love what I call alchemy therapy, which is like solutions focused, that is because it's like touch onto this ability to actually see a different path before you, to see the solutions, and then finding ways to reach those. And so it's kind of a magical working, I feel. Although you work with words, you also work with imagination and all those powers that lay in dormant most of the time there. Yeah. So I think oftentimes we need various methods, and I also think we often need physical methods. I mean, like actually put our body in such a balance, or our brains, our chemical systems, to be able to let go. Those patterns in the brain are like they easily repeat because they are so they are already like we have been threading yeah, them for so long. So to like make other pathways in our brains, we need to practice that. That takes effort. We can't like hope it would just happen by its own. We have to make some changes, you know. So usually these also when we stay in I think this card could also represent if we stay in conflicts without addressing them. If we push it down, sooner or later it will boil over. It's impossible to do. We have to address it. But the problem with doing so is that we need to also set limits then, or boundaries, yeah. And that could be the reason we often avoid it, But it will bring, I mean, it will come to a boiling point sooner or later. So, yeah, easier if we are able to release that in a different way that is healing, and not violent. So yeah. So there are many tools to work with, but I love this shamanic and also this whole practice of soul retrieval. And in psychology, they talk about dissociation. And, that can happen for minor things also, that part of our life energy or so on, like leaves to not come to harm, like in smaller sort of shocks, let's say. But those more major ones, and oftentimes I think we just feel it's normal in a way because so many have that, but we can heal it so much. And I mean, it's an ongoing progress. It's not like we are ever fully done or there or above someone else, yeah. Obviously we are here in the same world, right? So, but yeah, it's really awesome to bring our life energy back, and ways to push it away, but rather try to medicate it. Medicine is in those native tribes of America, for example, the medicine means holy gift. So when we use other stuff to medicate ourselves, like sugars, much in my case, or other drugs or behaviors of sorts and so on, we also give away our power or our energy. You could say our soul, in a way, and most of all our power, you know. we make ourselves powerless, or although we think that we nurture ourselves in some way, you know. And it could also easily be a way to numb ourselves from feeling those things that make us need to have those boundaries that feels difficult to set, you know, in certain environments and so on. Yeah, not easy always, but totally worth it, because there are two things that there are different patterns, you know. Pretty many close to me, they are like, I wouldn't say like workaholics, but they are more in that direction, because that is also appreciated mainly in society. That's like seen as positive if you are. Mostly for those who have more insight wouldn't see it that way, but commonly in the surface level of society, let's say, that is applauded, and also those who are very into physical exercise, like almost overboard, that is kind of positive, and so on. But that could also be a way, or even like cleaning around, or having it so super tidy all the time. That can be like an overboard reaction. I know several people who need that, who need to do those things to be able to feel calm inside, or they get like chaotic, or get anxiety and such. So that's their way of coping. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I wish I would have more of those sides, anyways. But I have like an opposite side. I tend to, I don't like totally freeze or numb myself, but in that direction rather. So numb myself with, I mean, to like get old team brain, or like, yeah, you know, I kind of like that, as well as being totally passive. That's like my favorite thing. No, not really. But the thing is, if I, for example, try to start exercise, although I like that too, or eat like without numbing my systems with sugar, so I get really like this card. I get like Sekhmet. The heat, or the sparks, let's that goes on in me. Oh, it's very hard to like deal with then. And so I feel like more comfortable not letting that. Could also be like an abstinence period, like, let's say, or at least adjustment period when it comes to moving and so on, or exercising. But it starts almost instantly, so I really need those softer ways, like yoga. I love Kundalini yoga, and other soft practices that don't push us, because if that is what triggers that part that I probably need to allow, but in a healthy way, and it feels sometimes that there would be no end to it, you know. So I have to touch on to it like gradually and slowly. But yeah, I will have to, you know, however long can you run from whatever is inside there. You have to be ready to do the adjustments that is needed from that new place then, when you don't have those other what can you say, it's almost like you're blindfolded with different things then. So when your eyes are open and you see clearer, then you need to act on that, and you need to take responsibility for that. You know, so, but it goes on in many levels. You know, you can work in either level and come to the same freedom at the end. That's like I guess that's the goal, the ultimate goal. And in that freedom is also happiness, and yeah, those kinds of things, belonging. Some people feel like freedom means like emptiness, but that's not what it means really. in my mind anyway. So anyways, this was a really interesting card for us all. It's also about maybe competition in some sense. Feeling that things are threatened. Oftentimes it's those who are very, very protective actually that also get very, very angry. So that part of it could be really good, but we need to have a sense of connection with our logic. We can't let this instinct just rule us or run us, let's say. And then we are kind of owned, or we aren't free to choose actually, because we have no we don't have access to those parts of ourselves then. So yeah, but what I would say here anyways to most of us, I guess, whoever listened to this maybe later or something, is that there are people around you, or me also maybe, that aren't on the same page. They really don't want the same thing, and sooner or later this will, if not boundaries are set, if things aren't corrected or put right in some way, this will become like a wildfire of sorts that can be very difficult to stop. So it's better to not wait to go. I mean, if there is conflict with someone else, usually like it could be in a work environment, in family or whatever, with other people generally, then it's best to just, in this situation, choose to go in a different direction, doing things by yourself. Actually let go of those others if possible, or choose a different environment where you feel like the focus is in the same way, in the same, that it's aligned, at least mostly. I mean, you can work together without agreeing on everything, but or if it pulls in very different directions, that's like very different. Oh, this also makes me think about another thing. Since no one is here, maybe I will talk an hour for myself. This is how I do it. This is how we do it. No, but anyways, another thing here. I think about, there's a place where I've been doing some readings and stuff, and there is a different owner, and things have changed, and they don't have like those candle lights anymore, and it's just totally different energy there now. It's totally different. And I believe, personally, I don't feel spirits like that all the time, but it feels like almost the soul of the place have been, I don't know, something have happened, something is wrong there. So it's like almost you don't want to, I mean, that feels, because this is a place where I felt really like love to be there, but now it's it's like the spirits have left the building, kind of. It's an old building, which is very, very weird, but it kind of reminds me of this, because everyone may not pull in the same direction, I don't know, there. So and that won't be good for anyone much. So yeah, then it would be better to just, let's say, go in one of the I mean, if there are anyways. I will pull another card, but this is very dramatic though. Yeah, to not be too harsh is the main message here still. To relax, cool down, get perspectives, and don't project. That is a problem we all do. We always project things. You have heard about the shadow and all that we work with. And that's always going on until we know who we are. and then it can pop up anyways, but then we know at least. But the shadow, I repeat these things because I think they are very important. Isn't Many people think it's the bad things that you kind of hide or don't want others to see or so, and then you see it outside, you see it in everyone else, their bad sides and how they are wrong, and how, and and you make all the kinds of stories about everyone else being this or that way, usually very it reflects yourself pretty much when you start to see it. But also, we forget about sometimes that the shadow shows our beautiful sides as well, our strength and everything. And sometimes when we have envy and so on, we don't see that in ourselves, and we just see it outside, and 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 think that we don't have it in ourselves. So that could also be a cause to these kind of angry or bitter emotions. Yeah. Yeah, to keep a balance here. But sometimes it's impossible. Sometimes, what do they say? Oil and water can't mix up. I mean, sometimes you cannot, it's impossible to bring harmony in certain constellations. It's just, it doesn't work. Then you have to go split ways. You can respect each other and so on, and other people's views and whatever, but you can't keep going together or build together or create together, because you want so different things. And yeah, this could also maybe talk about bullying. So not even bullying, this is like destroying. Yeah. So yeah, the balance is totally off here anyways. Someone have all the power, someone just, this triangle also that I talked about also in the medicine wheel and so on, but about the destructive triangle, or dysfunctional, you could actually say, about the victim, the perpetrator, and the savior. This triangle that is projected in some kind of another. And it's not to say that these things cannot be true. So in certain situations, let's say war, for example, or other, people are truly victims. But sometimes we tell stories that aren't even, it's not that we lie, but they aren't really factual. It's like our interpretations of the situations. And if we are into that, we continue to create those stories. It's like a pattern as well, where those roles, let's say, they change. Sometimes many people won't see themselves as the perpetrator, but they would see themselves as sometimes the savior, very much, as well as the victim. And it's very important to also see all the three in the triangle, and wherever we sometimes are in that story, even to be able to leave it, so yeah, because that's not helpful. It's helpful to see facts or see where we need boundaries, or what we need, or what maybe sometimes others need as well. But yeah, some stories just drain our life force and won't be helpful, So, okay, next card. No one is here, so I probably will talk a little bit more. Hope it gives someone what they needed, anyways. Is Two of Pentacles, and this is a different kind of pentacle card, or Two of Pentacles as well. This is a woman who have her body is like lit by, it looks like the tree of life, the Kabbalah, but there are two wizards here creating her. I think this is a very beautiful, very different kind of card. Yeah. And I think it's about awakening also. All those two, those if it's wands or if it's swords, I think maybe it's swords, they seem sharp. Their points of their, let's say, swords and or wands touch each other like an upward point, and she's standing there in between them, naked and like, yeah, harmonious and lit, sort of. And these figures, they stand in the shadow, they don't show themselves a lot, but they kind of bring her into life. Yeah, like that Evanescence song. Yeah, but yeah, they truly do. I think they are protectors in both the spiritual realm, maybe, but also in this physical realm. How they have almost charged. I mean, these abilities and the awakening of it, if we call it, that is within each person, but it can still be like also triggered from outside. And I think that's what they do, and they hold these like a protection around her. Yeah, I see that now. And she's very peaceful and harmonious, very beautiful. And yeah, they cover. They don't. Um, they don't limit her, but they stand as protection around her, which is super beautiful. Usually, this talk about like stress or so on. This card in traditional tarot. Juggling many things and so on, and she has the ability to do so. Also, she has many gifts, this woman, so much, and she's very grateful also to others who have shared and from whom she've learned and so on. Yeah, but this is super beautiful card. I think I will continue. There is no one here, so we'll just end soon, but these were awesome cards also to see for me. Yeah. Somehow spiritual in some way or another, protectors around. She may not even know who they are exactly, or so. They are just watching over her and her gifts, her spirits. Yeah. Super lovely. So I hope this gave anyone anything. Maybe you recognize yourself in this description or in something else that I said. Yeah, and this is what I feel. I mean, we all have maybe. I mean, as I said, I want so many things, but there are those who may focus in on, I don't know, I have a hard time focusing in on smaller things, detailed things like, yeah, you know, yeah, like exercise, like cleaning stuff, like that. I mean, I'm like it's so universal in my ways of thoughts. So I just feel like, what is my mission here? What can I contribute? What can I share that gives others what they need? I want to pour that out there. As one of my first, that was a Taoistic teacher that I saw in spirit. One of the first, I think maybe the first that came to me in a vision. And he told me to shower the world with light, not with what is the word for that? The fading figure, me or you then. Yeah. And that is what I feel is the purpose. Shower the world with these gifts, not to like give them just, I mean, I love to help with the gifts I have, but I want to help others to awaken to the gifts within them, because they also have these if they are interested. I mean, because those are the most precious gifts that I've ever gotten from anyone. Those who have shared this with me, the understanding and knowledge of who I am. Yeah. And there are various different sources that have inspired me, but mainly those who have been the most healing, that are the most loving one. Those who have showed most love, that have been the most healing. Yeah, that's the basic. And that's also, I guess, why Munaki is so dear to me, because it's the path of love, it's the energy of love. Yeah. But also many methods, techniques, all kinds of things that also are super inspiring, as well as the Ayurveda and all that, which is not obviously so much in scientific tests and so on, because many of the methods, although very efficient, they are mild and they are easy, cheap, everything, and you can do them yourself and all that, and no one gain, much is driven by the money and that sort of power. And so it's not so appreciated to lift that, because it would, if people knew all those things, then it would not be helpful for other businesses that want to sell their poison, actually, which is like sugars and other stuff. Yeah. So thank you to all the wizards out there, whatever you call yourself. I love you forever, and all the teachers I have them so close into mine, and this was also happening to me the other day. I made I do these magical circles. Usually, I visualize, and then I invite those power animals that I also have my own, but also from the tradition of the monarchy, and that I work with in the medicine wheel. But I also made a different kind of casting this circle or this holy space. And when I did it that way, one of my former teachers that I passed on came to me and said one thing that I didn't follow. Of course, I would never. Oh gosh, I really wanted to. My aim was to listen, because I know this was a smart woman. But no, so far I didn't. But I understand that there were some wise advice there. Yeah, for sure. So, but it was wonderful, because I understand that you open with this circle casting, you open various portals. I mean, if you open it in a different way, you invite different energies. And you can make it easier for certain energies or persons, let's say, then to reach you. Yeah. So doing it that way was for her an easy way, I think, to come through, because that's not so common. And I'm really happy for that. Yeah. Well, that was that. And I know there are people on my page, they don't understand what I talk about. They have no clue. They're like, what is she really doing? Or this is so far out there. And to me, it's not. But feel free to ask me any kind of questions. I love to have them. And even if for me this is normal and not very difficult, I understand that it's pretty weird for other people. So if you want me to try to explain certain things, can't really. This is experiences. I mean, it doesn't help anyone pretty so much to explain, but at least I can try, because I love to share it. This is my passion. Yeah, one of them. I have a lot of those. So yeah, feel free to connect anywhere or anytime you want, and I will try to share from the best of my ability. But yeah, I will check in here later again, since no one was here now. Yeah, talk soon. Bye for now.